Hello, dieters. How are you? Here we go with days 13 and 14 on the diet. And then I'm going to talk about BMI today. It is Sunday morning and the lawnmower just started. On cue. I don't think in the last video you could hear it. I kind of glanced back for a second just to see if it was annoying, and I didn't hear it unless it was a point where it wasn't going. So hopefully this is all going well and you don't hear that lawnmower out there from the neighbor. Okay, days 13, 14, let's get to it. So we've had 3 days of gain and then 1 day of loss. So it was a gain of a pound, then gain of a 0.1, then gain of another 0.1, a slight fraction of a gain, and then a minus 0.4. So on day 13, what happened is I had a minus 0.1, so still going down. Wasn't thrilled that it was so small, but it was still going down. And then day 14, it's really loud right now, it's by my window. Okay, day 14 was minus 0.8. That was exciting. That was a day that I had finally readjusted to where I was before of my chicken wrap carb calorie sugar slip day. And if I go back and count, that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Took me a week. Took me a week to recover from that. Now, was I eating completely clean and only plain chicken with 0 fats and all that? No. I've established before that I'm having a little salad dressing on things. I'm having salmon at times, which is fattier in that, and that's not part of the original protocol. So I am not losing in the huge amounts that you would if you were to be really strict on this diet. And if I were to just be having asparagus with some plain chicken with spices on it that was just cooked up in water, say. So I'm happy with these numbers. And the fact that it took me a week was not thrilling, but at the same time, it is what it is, and I'm happy not to be dropping too much too quickly. Can you believe those words just came out of my mouth? But again, it just goes to the whole hair thing. So this is working for me. At this point, my diet was still kind of inconsistent. I had realized I need to go back to just doing intermittent and keeping all my calories together in the evening. And I was kind of at the point where I was now getting rid of the hot dogs. You know, they're processed food. You really shouldn't be eating them anyway. And of course, they have fat in them. I do the all beef one. There's still fat in it. So that minus 0.8 day, the day before, I had eaten 3 skewers of grilled chicken, you know, like not barbecue, what's the word? You know, the sticks where you put the pieces of meat on. Shish kebabs. So I had 3 chicken kebabs, and I ate them with guacamole. So that was my vegetable, was guacamole. Again, avocado, not an approved vegetable on this diet because it's higher in fat content, but it is healthy and it is vegetable, and I'm doing me on this diet a little bit different. So all in all, I still believe I kept within the 500 calorie restriction, which is my goal on all of this. So the weight loss is coming off, and that was smart eating that day, and the scale reflected it. All right, so there we go. So we are at that point at day 14, and I had lost 6.1 pounds. On any other diet, that would be amazing, and I'd be doing backflips. On this diet, that's not the norm. Normally, you would lose more than that in a given period of time, but normally I would lose more than that, but I would also really feel like I'm on a diet and feel like I'm restricted. Not hungry. You should never feel hungry on this diet. The hCG drops should make sure that you're not hungry. If you feel hungry, you need to adjust your dosing. But being that I'm eating the way I'm eating and I'm really enjoying it, like those chicken kebabs were amazing, and guacamole is one of my favorite things. So the chicken kebabs would be on the protocol and they would be acceptable, but the guacamole certainly wasn't because it was too high fat content. I'm trying to be cognizant of not doing sugar when I'm modifying the diet, but I am bringing in more fats. And the goal of this diet and the hCG, what it does is it burns your fat in your body. So if you're taking fats into your mouth, it's going to burn those first. So then you're going to have less fat of your fat reserves that are stored in your body, and thus less weight loss because it's not eating as much of the fat in your body. It's 1 + 1 = 2. It makes sense to me. So, but I'm willing to sacrifice that, if you will, at this point, and just see where we end up after the 23 days. And then after 23 days, I am probably going to extend it 1 more week and stop. And partly because of the way I'm eating, but I don't feel like I'm dieting. I'm never hungry and I'm eating what I really enjoy, and I'm just trying to be cognizant of the fact that there's no sugars in it, that I'm trying to stay away from as many fats as possible, and that it's within approximately the 500 calorie protocol. Again, I'm not measuring my food this time. All right. So what am I going to talk about today was BMI. So I'm doing BMI because when I started this diet last time, 3 years ago, I did so figuring out my BMI right beforehand, because body mass index is what we're looking at. Generally speaking, your BMI or your body mass index is an indication of how much total fat you have on your body. And when I looked it up, and not really understanding what any of the numbers were, not that it really mattered, I just kind of glanced at it and I saw that I was in the obese category. And that just threw me for a loop and set me back for a second. I thought, obese. I mean, to me, obese was just incredibly overweight. That's what I've always thought of as obese. And morbidly obese were in my brain, like just really having a difficult time to get around. And, on the clinical end of this is going to kill you if you don't change this tomorrow. That's how my brain categorized obese. Obese were fatter people, and morbidly obese were, in the danger zone of some serious complications. So when I found out that I was obese, it was a sucker punch. It really was. I'm like, oh, really? I must have recalculated it and went to 3 different BMI calculators to, I can't be right. They can't be right. So it was a reality check that, whoa, you need to do something about this, Jenny. All right. Right now, as I go on and I figure it out on the calculator, I am in the overweight category. So I'm not obese anymore. So hallelujah for that. But I'm not where I want to be. It's funny because at this point, having lost over 6 pounds, I feel like I'm starting to look fair again. I started to feel like, I was like, things aren't fitting and I don't look that great and all that. And as the first 6 pounds came off and you start to feel like, okay, this is good. I'm starting to look good, to realize that the amount is still in the overweight category. I thought I would be in like the high normal. No, not normal. And I wasn't obese when I started this time, but I'm down 6.1 pounds at the point that we're talking about today. I'm down a little bit more than that because I'm further ahead. Again, I'm catching up, doing 2 days at a time. But at this point, I was happy with the amount of weight that I had lost, 6.1 pounds, but still considered overweight. It takes a long time to get out of those categories. The below normal, normal, overweight, obese, morbidly obese. Yeah. So, okay, body mass index, as I indicated before, is the total body fat. So how it's calculated is they simply take your age and your weight, and it's put into a calculator. It's one divided into the other, and weight divided by height. Oh, I'm sorry. They don't take into consideration your age. Did I just say age? I'm so sorry. It wasn't age. It's your height and your weight. So they put it into the calculator. It's weight divided by height, and that number is what your body mass index is. So if it is between 18.5 and 24.9, then you are considered normal. So that's the goal. So my goal on this diet is I would like to not be considered overweight anymore. So I really would like to get to that 24.9 normal. I looked on the scale to see, not on the scale, I looked, I kind of did some math. I looked at some of the numbers of when I'd lost weight before and looked at the amount that I had lost, and I put it into the BMI calculator. I mean, I could have done the math myself, but if you go online and you go to like BMI.com, probably just write BMI. You don't even have to write calculator. And instantly, one's going to pop right up on the Google page. You don't even have to go to the page, and you can go ahead and input the numbers. So why bother straining the brain with math? All right, so I put in the numbers for the lowest, which is probably about, well, I mean, I went on it again today, and again, I have lost more weight, and I was down probably another 5 pounds less than I am now, and we're talking about a week in advance, so from the numbers I gave you earlier, I'm actually a week into the diet more than that. Put those numbers in and thought, oh, okay, still overweight. So I thought, well, if I lose 5 more pounds than this, then that's when I'll be. I put 5 more pounds in, put it in, still overweight. This is humbling. I realized that the only time I was in the normal range was the very first time I went on hCG. And I got down, when I lost that 25 pounds, and I got down to a weight that I hadn't seen until almost like my teen years, early 20s. That was the last time I was in that weight. So I don't find it fair that the BMI calculator does not take age into consideration. And I suppose if I went online and I started digging, I could find one that does. But in the end, it's really just not about your age. I mean, because you're not supposed to be carrying more fat the older you get. It's harder to lose the fat. It's easier to maintain the fat on your body the older you get. But the reality is we still should have a lean body mass. Whether you're 20, 30, 40, 50, or 60, you should maintain a lean body to be as healthy as possible for your own personal health. Now, I get that the older we get, the more difficult that becomes. So that is frustrating, but we'll see. I'll talk about this a little bit again when I'm done with the diet and I look at my BMI and most likely see that I'm still considered in the overweight category. But I'll kind of talk about how much more I would need to lose and the reality of that. Yeah, what it doesn't take, why it's not the best indicator of health also, is that weight and height does not take into consideration a muscle mass. And when you're on this diet, you're not supposed to be losing muscle mass. You are supposed to be burning your fat stores and not the muscles first, which normally when you lose weight, I mentioned this in previous videos, you're going to go to your muscle and you're going to gain energy from your muscles prior to going to reserve fats that are stored on your body. So this hCG switches that, and after it goes with the food that you've given to your body for the day, it's going to go to your fat reserves and maintain your muscles. So it's not the best indicator. I do know that people who are very, very serious about this diet and really want to know how much they've lost, they go to a center where they can your actual body mass index. So you get into a big tank of water and hold your breath and go underwater, and it figures out your weight and your buoyancy and all that. So it knows exactly how much of your body composition is fat and how much of it is muscle. There's other scanners that kind of do the same kind of thing. So, I mean, I'm not going to go to the extreme of that. That doesn't matter as much to me as long as I feel healthy and I feel energized. And I don't feel like I'm feeling fatigued or I'm getting atrophied, which I shouldn't because it should be my fat reserves that are being burned, not my muscles. I'm not as concerned about that. If I was doing this as an educational program for everybody, or if I was a YouTuber who made money and had to have really in-depth, detailed analysis of how much is lost every single day, then that would be a possibility that they go like once a week to see how much actual, to make sure. And the cool thing about it is, let me just like save you from having to look it all up. Everyone who's done that has indicated that the muscle has maintained and it is the body fat that's going down. So it's just proof that what was intended to be the purpose of the hCG diet is exactly what's happening on the hCG diet, and that is that your calories after your food consumption for the day are being taken from your fat reserves in your body. So you are losing that fat. All right, that's it for BMI. I mentioned that the normal range is 18.5 to 24.9. That's your goal, is to get down to 24.9 if you want to be in the normal range. And best of luck to you. And then the overweight range, the overweight range is 25.0 to 29.9. So, if you do your BMI and you get between 25.0 and 29.9, you're considered overweight. As soon as you hit a body mass index of 30 and above, you are considered obese. All right, that's all the information on BMI for today. You will see your BMI go down. I use personally the app called Lose It. It's an app, and you can also do it an online version. I'm logged into both, so I can do it on my computer or I can do it on my phone. You just go to loseit.com, LOSEIT. It's free. There is a paid subscription version of it as well if you want it more in depth, but I just monitor and log in my weight in that every day. I don't even do the food anymore, again, because I'm not trying to break that obsession. Because it's just not doable for me. I know it's not doable and sustainable in the long term. It's doable for a diet, but it's not sustainable after the diet. I spend the rest of my life always logging and jogging down every single thing that I eat. So I don't do the food log in it anymore, but I do put my weight in there and I can track it and watch it. And it also has a BMI calculator in there as well that I can watch and see. And it can go back. The beauty of, I've been doing this for probably 5 years. Now I'll go 7 months and not put a weight in there until I feel like I need to lose again. I start monitoring and putting it in again. But I can go back about 7 years and kind of see trends in my weight. So the Lose It app, go ahead and use the Lose It app. That's a little extra bonus piece of nugget, and you can do your BMI calculator in there. You don't even have to put it in once you put your weight in, because when you sign up, it has your basic information in terms of weight and height and age and all that. Not that age goes into consideration, but anyway, that information is in the app, so it automatically can calculate your BMI for you. That's a way to figure it out as well. Loseit.com. Yeah, I'm trying to think if there's something else. I feel like there was one more thing that was on my mind, but I can't think of what it is right now. If it is, I will add it onto tomorrow's video so I can cut this off. You all have a wonderful Sunday out there. And, it's probably not Sunday. I don't know. Am I exactly 7 days off now? Whatever day this is. Well, whatever day you're watching it. Clearly, it may not be Sunday for you. There's only a 1 in 7 chance this is a Sunday for you. All right. Losing my brain. Time to go. You have a wonderful day. Tomorrow, I will update you on how my days 15 and 16 went on the hCG diet. Take care. Bye-bye.